So there's some steps involved with really transforming and making teams into a project management enabled solution. There's some setup and administration. Um, you obviously need to create a Teams channel or a team and then a channel within the team, right? So depending on your access level, some organizations have locked this down to an administrative function. Others have allow people to create their own channels within a team or their own teams and channels. So I'm not sure what your exact scenario is, but you could find out by contacting your IT administrator. But you need to decide kind of where the channel would go, who should have access to it. You may need to request it from IT. And is there a team that you should already be using that you want to leverage and instead of creating a new one? Um, and then you need to add the right scheduling tab to it. So if we set up the project online service, you would use the website tab. If you're using project for the web, there's actually a native, excuse me, there's a native tab for that available in Teams in the channel. And you might want to add some other tabs like for reporting, for RAID capture, or a OneNote, or as we talked about earlier, there's a lot of different options you might want to add to the channel. So with all those considerations, it kind of is kind of easy to make a mess a little bit. And so let me talk a little bit about best practices for using Teams for project management. So channel setup, Teams channel setup it would have to be manual. So project managers would be creating their own channels. Um, that's a somewhat tedious process, especially if you don't have permission to do that. Varying degrees of Teams knowledge may exist among the project managers. So some people might know how to set it up, more comfortable with that. Others may not be. And therefore, each project manager may do things a little bit differently, which isn't really the best for team member experience, because they're going to want to know where to find things. They're going to want to know if I am staffed to a project with Bill, he does it one way and Susie does it another way. Then that provides an inconsistent experience for me as a team member, which is not really ideal.
Yep, consistency is key to change management and people to do things.
True. So because also keep in mind that if you're going to start using Teams for project management, your risk issues and other data that you capture is really going to be existing in a separate list or a planner plan or whatever you're using to capture that data, and it's not necessarily going to be reportable. So it's in a central way, right? It may be challenging to find different project information because if Teams is kind of in an left uncontrolled, which is a lot of the state and condition of Teams, it's kind of grown organically and it's kind of hard to find stuff now. That might be a challenge. Then again, we need to consider other things like what about project metadata? What about workflow? What about centralized reporting?